All right, here we are. Welcome back. It's been a while. Originally when I started doing these podcasts, the idea was all spawned around, having a quiet mind, time to think, and exploring people's narratives. That was the key. What kind of spawned this change was incorporating what I have been doing, which is getting together, having good, authentic conversations, but also incorporating some of the things that do drive me crazy. And trip reviews, they're always the same. It's me sitting in front of a computer and trying to put some pictures together. So maybe incorporating the two will free up some more time. Here we go. Westbank Anglers Permit to Think. It's a little different. I'm joined today by Brian Matthews. Thanks for jumping on, Brian.
You bet. It's good to be back. If I remember, I was your first Permit to Think.
Absolutely. And
Episode 1.
The only second repeater, right?
I guess. Is it maybe the first triple?
Yeah. Was there a triple?
Well, this.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. First double and triple. And Jimmy, cheers. How's it going, Jimmy?
Going great, man.
Well, thanks you guys for jumping on. Jimmy, you were one of the narratives that I wanted to explore a little bit. Speaking of change, you've had a lot of change in your life, and how's it all been going? How's the transition? And maybe help us out and walk us through the transition a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Excited to be on here. Thanks for the invite. Excited to be in the area and couldn't be happier to be with Westbank. Just an awesome group and crew and location. I have no complaints. This is an amazing part of the world and fitting in seamlessly. Just loving it, man.
That's awesome, man. Give the listeners a little bit of a timeline.
Sure. Yeah. So my wife and I moved out here from Tennessee back in April. His first full season guiding here on the South Fork of the Snake. And prior to that, I got it for 10 years in Tennessee. So made the move all the way across country.
And meanwhile, when you were guiding in Tennessee, right? Like you were still coming out this way.
Yeah. Spent plenty of time. Went to a guide school out here before I started guiding professionally in Tennessee, and fell in love with the area. Have plenty of friends out here, so we'd come back and visit, and made this home now.
Yeah.
How'd you find Westbank?
The guy hosting the podcast right there, Mr. Mike Dawes. Mike, I'm sure as you know, is with Worldcast when I went to the guide school, and that's where we first crossed paths.
Awesome.
Did you have any good stories driving across country?
No, it's probably a good thing. An uneventful trip moving, while you're traveling that far. We moved out here and luckily we had a moving company that moved a majority of everything, but they wouldn't take taxidermy or guns. So
Really?
I had all those packed into a U-Haul, and I was pretty nervous about stopping and spending any time outside of a final destination. So seamless trip. Happy to be here. Make it quick.
Awesome. That would have been funny to watch. Cop pull up the back. And you've been hunting quite a bit recently, right?
Yeah. Been bird hunting, man, quite a bit since kind of our guiding season started to slow down. It's a awesome,
How's it been?
area. It's been really good. Been a lot of fun exploring new areas and new territory. Our water levels are down, so that's making navigating the river pretty interesting. Having a ball.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yesterday I was out duck hunting and got super lucky. I killed a blonde mallard. It's like 1 in 30,000. It's like a genetic deficiency, kind of like an albino. It's pretty cool, but first one of those I've ever seen or killed.
And the whole like neck and feathers, or do you have a photo?
Yeah, so
how does it?
Yeah, they bleach out a little bit. So like their speculum, where they usually have like real bright, vibrant color, that'd be the darkest part on the duck. But it's almost It's not black, definitely more brown. But if you were to compare it to a standard mallard, it looked like you could just imagine like a mount that's been sitting out in the sun for 10 years. That's just bleached out. It's kind of cool. It's not perfect white, but off white. Is a cool looking duck.
Wow, that is cool.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congrats. You said 1 in 30,000?
Yeah, 1 in 30,000, maybe even more than that. It's kind of a conservative figure that from the research, but yeah, they're cool.
Wow, that's
Now
awesome.
1 in 31,000.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, we're gonna transition a little bit to talking about Australia. I thought it would be kind of a nice twist to explore your narrative a little bit, Jimmy, which we could also get back to, but also talk about
Sure.
the trip. And thought it'd be cool to have someone that wasn't on the trip as well, because it's a different place. It's pretty interesting, and yeah. So we'll dive right into it, because the other side of that coin is Matthews was on the trip, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, Brian, because my response, they give mini trip reviews all day long in the shop, right? For the people that know that you went somewhere, they're like, weren't you just somewhere? Like, I was in Australia, and then, but how have you been describing the trip?
It's always hard to like really capture what it felt like to be on a trip when people ask. But I've been saying this was up there in the top trips we've ever taken. And it's a lot of ingredients, the location, Australia, the crew, and then the people on our trip. It just all comes together to make something really, really special. I think our fishing was, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't lights out. It's probably average there. But we had some good anglers and everyone got their fish and there was enough action every day. I really enjoyed the 3 guides we had, and Josh was kind enough to come up and spend time with us. Really good people, very passionate, very energetic. Connect with them on a personal level while you're not seeing fish on the boat. So even in the slow moments, you're still having fun. And that landscape is just so different. And I've only been to Australia twice. I'd never been to Cape York, but it's a place I want to go back to. And that landscape just kind of calls you.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of spawned the trip, right? Is just you see the picture of the red cliffs and the Caribbean water. And just because I did a very poor job of introducing it, right? We're talking about Aussie fly fisher Josh Hutchins, who's the owner. That's who we went with to the Cape York Lodge. So we're talking about the west side of Cape York in Weipa is the name of the town. But did you know going into it that those red cliffs were bauxite?
No idea. I just seen a picture, but when we saw the mines, I kind of, I put it together.
Yeah. And when you saw those cliffs, is that something that I'm trying to sort out how out of it I am versus like most people like, oh yeah, that's red stuff is bauxite.
No, I wouldn't have known that. But that's the kind of thing that when you go on a trip like that, you're completely out of your element and what you're used to seeing on a daily basis. Maybe, I mean, once in a lifetime for a lot of people. Just getting to experience the things like that, even outside the fishing, is what it's all about.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys might have to point me back towards the fishing because I love all the peripheral stuff, but the bauxite mines, so it's surface mining. So I mean, while they are scorching the earth, they're not digging down. What is it, Matt? Like 10 feet.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is bauxite. To summarize it, bauxite is aluminum. But in order for bauxite to be transformed into aluminum, it needs some ridiculous amount of electricity. And it takes so much electricity that they call it the dirt waterfall. So they have conveyor belts running, one that we kept seeing, that conveyor belt was like 8 kilometers from the mine. They spray it down so the bauxite dust doesn't come off. and then it goes straight from the conveyor belt onto a pouring machine, and then they call that the dirt waterfall. So they're actually taking the bauxite from the ship, bringing it to another country that has cheaper electricity to then transform it into, I don't know. The whole thing was wild to me.
That's crazy.
The ship loader was cool. Remember going under that thing
Yeah.
where they pour the bauxite in, and like we came back up one day in the afternoon, and I don't know if the dirt waterfall guy was asleep at the wheel, but the ship was literally at an angle like this. Like it was all backloaded. These are big, big ships.
Yeah.
I think you need to put some more in the front end, but we had to laugh at it.
Well, I mean, there's like one of the guides said, imagine if, right, if you're the captain of the ship, that's a big haul to lose, like with a mishap. I mean,
You have one job.
yeah, you got one job to do. Well, let's talk about some wildlife before we dive into the fish too, because this we were just talking about doing some bird hunting. A couple amazing moments on the trip with the crew where someone, a buddy of mine, had just told me about this movie Listers. Have you heard? Have you heard of it, Jimmy? Did you see it?
No, actually, I think we were talking about that with AJ when we were on the water, weren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So I just started to watch some of it. So we were joking about the movie, saying we should have a Lister fishing trip where there's also a bird competition going on at the same time. And we thought Tanzania would be a good spot. But anyhow, jump in, Matthews. Wasn't it the first morning that someone went north?
The first morning someone went north, which I don't think was the first morning. Might have been like day 2. But yes, you're right.
Yeah. So at this lodge, right, you either get in a vehicle and drive about an hour north and then pick up a boat, or you put in right in town. And the first morning, I think it was Jed and Gillikin, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they're in the vehicle while the other guys jump out to hook the boat up, and then here comes this cockatoo, which is it the red-breasted or the red-tailed, black?
I think it's a red-tailed black cockatoo.
Yeah,
I think.
Red
Don't hold me on it, but that has the ingredients.
It's like the rarest bird in Australia, one of them, right? So it has this the kind of like the feathers that drop down. So the guides freeze. The guys in the truck don't know what's going on, so they're like, "Holy shit! Look at that bird! What bird is that?" And they're like, "Shh!" So they're going to take out the cameras, and then right when the cameras come out, bird flies away. Cameras go back into the the Yeti box, and then the bird flies down again. Anyway, it was remarkable. And then they saw it again, right?
Yeah, later in the week. Might have been the last day. I never saw it.
I never saw it.
I looked every time. I was a little jealous.
I was, short of like literally walking around the jungle, I was trying
That's where I'm going back.
Trying to find it. Yeah. And then you were with me with the dingo or no?
The dingo. Yeah, I was with you for that one.
Yeah, we saw a dingo chase the car. And then
for a good while.
Chase the what?
We actually we saw a wild dingo, but then it started to chase the truck.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
And then it kind of did like one of these moves where it just did a slow walk around. And apparently all dingoes are solitary creatures, which I didn't know about. It looked like something you wouldn't want to mess with.
No, not even close. I might have rolled up the window even.
Well, onto the fishing, because I was your recap is very similar to mine. Like I just thought that obviously in terms of travel, like Jim, as you said earlier, Jimmy, I mean some people, right? That's a trip of a lifetime. It's a long way to go. But I think the things that, for me at least, that I mean, everyone speaks English, and I think sometimes we forget about how comfortable that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes you feel a little bit closer to home, which maybe is a bad thing at times, but on this particular trip was a good thing. And Cairns, right? Like the town of Cairns, which is probably the jumping off point to the Great Barrier Reef. And so there's a stopping point there. Spend the night there, and that's a cool spot.
Was it like New Zealand though? They speak English, but it's a little bit different. So you
100%.
still feel far away?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the
Yeah.
accents, the lingo, and the slang terms, it's just so positive, witty, and funny. Like I remember we were going after overnight in Cairns, we were in an Uber to go to the airport to finally do the last leg to Weipa. And we told our driver we're going to Weipa. And he's like, oh, there's a lot of big lizards up there, meaning the huge crocodiles. And he was like, but, common sense wins the day. Just don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
I love
and
it.
Right. What are they called birders? Twitchers, but I guess that's a common one, right?
Yeah. I forget his first. It's like, oh, we got a twitcher here.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm saving that one.
But I mean, those. I mean, while traveling far, like those two elements, I feel like that's kind of a big deal, especially when you're talking about the fishing aspect in terms of English, right? There's not much lost in communication.
Yeah.
And for a short amount of time, that helps you achieve goals probably pretty quicker. But also, I would say the guide staff, as you mentioned, Brian, right? Like they were professionals, and
totally,
and they were young and wildly knowledgeable and really proud of their country, which is pretty cool.
Proud of Aussie fly fisher and what they're building. I mean, you can just feel all of that. They all take ownership in it, and they, want you to catch fish almost more than you do it sometimes. It makes them so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And fun and funny, right? Like I think they, like all guides, right, Jimmy? I mean, it's still, different in a lodge setting, because you're going to be with people for the next 6 or 7 days as opposed to day trips. But I think they warmed up to us a little bit. Would you agree or no?
If they didn't, they're very good fakers. Because I felt like they were best friends.
Yeah, and I mean that was our first trip there, so I mean it was, I wouldn't say it's exploratory because we've done trips with Aussie fly fisher in the past, but new spot, new area, and then the fishing. I mean we're talking about a lot of the peripheral stuff, but obviously the fishing, I found it mind-boggling, just because the gear in which they recommend you to use they're doing that for a reason, and I agree with it. And specifically the lines, right? They want you to have a 15-foot intermediate clear tip line, and then they're very down on any sort of tapered leader. So they're actually using one piece of 20 pound that starts out at about 14 feet long, and they double over 4 feet of it, and they ferrule it. And then they tie a double surgeon's knot once they've got the 4 feet of ferruling done, and so the whole leader ends up being, and that goes straight to the one piece of 20, and the whole thing's about 10 feet. And the whole time I was like, I don't know why you would want this. I get it. Maybe a little extra stretch, less knots.
It probably makes it stiffer, doesn't it?
Well, the ferruling,
so it turns over really nice.
Transition's nice.
Yeah. Kind of like a old school braided leader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the weird part to that is then you have on a fly that's the equivalent of having two medium dumbbells in it.
Okay.
So the whole thing is massively heavy. So the leader part was a little bit of a head scratcher. The part that does make sense is to get anything built boat wise in Australia, they have a surveying process. So like you start the process of building the hull and then a surveyor needs to come.
Hmm.
One part of the process, which is fascinating, is whatever you want the boat to be rated for, that many people actually need to come to the boat. So if it's 1,000 pounds, you need to find 5 people at 200 pounds, and they need to stand on the gunnel, and they need to make the boat flip, which is, so you can imagine all of the boats have super high beams, right? So basically the biggest thought process behind the leader is that there's no knot from the fly line to the tippet. So when you get a fish, you can reel down on the leader and that ferruled part just goes straight through, which was
Smooth.
super interesting.
I like that in general. I might try that other places because it is really nice not to have to worry about that transition knot.
Well, I was even thinking about it for trout fishing. Like, why wouldn't you just take a long piece of 3X and ferrule it, tie the knot, and have your leader?
Yeah. Get that 16-inch rainbow in tight.
Yeah, and then I guess where I was headed with that is the whole setup is made so that mainly the permit are looking down, and they don't want the crabs to jump up at all. They don't want any motion. So obviously, if you have a floating line and a leader, it doesn't sink as well, right? And you make a quick strip, the crab's going to jump up with the line and the leader. So with the intermediate, but what we noticed very quickly is the fish that we were able to find weren't even letting it get down. So like they would see the fly and bum rush it, and sometimes it couldn't even get your line tight.
Yeah, it was extremely quick.
So what would you say like the average depth of these flats you were fishing there were, and then can you compare that to other places that you fished?
Brian, I'll let you.
What's the question? Like, how do you compare the size of the
No,
fly?
no. Like, I mean, in Australia, like the typical water depth you're fishing in. I mean, is it pretty typical to Belize, Mexico, or
I would say it was probably between 1 and 2 meters, right? Which would be, maybe 2.5 to 6, 7 feet.
okay,
Probably where we were targeting and saw fish. Mike, would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say deep. Yeah, 4 to 6 feet. So deeper than like your traditional flats.
right.
And I found the fish were deeper. Like they weren't. I mean, I can think of a few instances where I saw some floating permit, but they're down deep, and when they eat. And Mike, I don't think we've talked about this. You might disagree, but usually I'm so used to Atlantic permit where you're really watching the body language of the fish, and you get this long follow, and you can kind of tell some signature signs of like when they're eating. These things just seem to cruise and eat like more on the fly, and it kind of blindsides you a little bit. And to Mike's point, they'll attack the fly quick, and so I can think of a number of fish that I missed that definitely ate the fly. I mean, the fly is hammered when you pull it up, but you never even felt a thing. And maybe it's because of where the mouth's located on those anik. I don't know.
Yeah. And also, to add to your question, Jimmy, is like when you think of a traditional flat in like a Belize, more of a pancake flat, but got deep water all around, and then shallow water, or in Mexico, just long, extensive, flats that mostly 1 to 3 feet. They're basically fishing shorelines and outside of river drainages where the river has
Okay.
pushed sand out. So not too many traditional flats in the sense that like that of how we look at them, but it's definitely how they describe a flat.
Copy.
And
It looks stunning.
Stunning. Well, I mean the bauxite, right? I mean that part. I didn't even care if we saw a fish when you're fishing with the red cliffs behind you. It was pretty stunning. To your point, Brian, I think that I 100% agree with you. I would say I would take it even farther. I mean, with Atlantic permit, as you were describing, like usually there's a kick of a tail, there's some gill flare once in a while, there's a change of speed. All types of tails. The tail kick is the one usually when you're setting the hook. But I saw an instance where there was nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched the fly go in front of the fish and the fish swim by. Two guides were way too close to me, but right next to me. And as I'm stripping in the line, I said, "Did you see that?" And they were like, "Didn't even look." And I'm stripping, and then I'm like, "Oh God, I got him." And then the first thought was like, there was nothing. I mean, it was like, here comes the fly, and then just fish like, oh, he ate it. Like, how does that?
But it's cool. I mean, the good news is like they eat. Those fish just eat, and they eat aggressively, or at least they did for us. So if you find fish and have a shot, there's a very good chance you're going to come tight.
Exactly. But I do think we saw it in a manner that is not the norm at all. Right? Because I think they were surprised by it.
So we should go back.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
well, I mean, clearly, if you're going, that far, there's probably not nearly as much pressure on those fish. Do you think that might have anything to do with it?
I think it does, but I would lean more towards the actual fish.
Okay.
Like it's different. Like there's some. I had never fished for the ANAC permit, and so for everyone tuning in, right? There's four permit, about to be a fifth that people generally talk about. You've got, the Atlantic permit, Indo-Pacific permit, the ANAC permit, which is what we were after, and then the Africanus, which is really in Oman, Yemen, Saudi Arabia. So part of what the fish that we were fishing for, like there was kind of a hybrid, I felt like, between the Africanus, which is definitely a meaner fish, and the Indo-Pacific. For whatever reason, in Australia, I mean, I've only fished there 4 times, but the fish are looking down and they generally are much friendlier to eat your fly for whatever reason. I would say one of the, at times cool and at times very frustrating, a part of the trip was there's so many species swimming around. And to your point about water depth, it was very hard to distinguish what is what.
The milk, even the mullet. There was some big mullet. I thought I flossed. Didn't understand why I didn't eat.
Yeah, and right, as always, as a part of, I mean, some of the best part of those trips is the reflections afterwards. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the permit fishing because usually it seemed like one was being caught in a boat a day, which in permit fishing lifts everyone's spirits. I mean, that's especially when you travel that far. So if you stuck with it, something cool is going to happen. But then on the other side, the stuff that would just take place just being out there was insanity. So it's like maybe we should I don't know. In hindsight, it's like it would have been nice to maybe pick a day or two to just fish for it all. Probably would have caught more permit on that day. But we had a pretty wild experience where there was, manta rays. How big do you think those manta rays wingspans were?
Maybe 10 feet.
Yeah,
I have no idea. But yes.
I was showing my kids the video and they didn't. They were like, "That's only 3 feet wide."
No chance.
I'd say it was like 10 to 15 feet wide.
Yeah, and that's not crazy.
Yeah, at all. And they were doing when they eat shrimp, they do flips in the water. And in this particular instance, we were observing this one, just watching him do the flips, and a school of golden trevally were coming up and tailing on the manta ray's stomach as it was doing its rolls. And I mean, at first it was like, do we even cast or what? It's like, yeah, put it on its stomach. And so like, I don't know, waiting for it to roll. It was pretty cool.
Did you say a golden trevally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get any of those?
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Some, couple ones with some really cool spot formations. And
Yeah.
have you fished for those before?
No.
They have a proboscis mouth. So like once you catch them, you can pull their lip out like 3 or 4 inches, and that's how they'll eat like that. It's kind of wild. No teeth, not like the other trevally species. Kind of soft rubber lips. Yeah, there was, because that led me to ask the question. We were there, and apparently earlier in the season there was a guy that did just that. He's like, I'd love to catch some permit, but I want to catch it all. And I think they said he ended up with 42 species.
Holy smokes.
Right? I mean, that's wild.
So what all did you guys target while you were there?
Primarily permit. But we caught a bunch of goldies. I caught a massive cobia, which I'd never caught before, which was kind of lucky. And I never really seen one that big. So when it was following the fly by the boat, I thought it was a shark and whipped it out, and the guide almost smacked me. Like, what are you doing? It's a shark. He's going to take my rig. He's like, no, it's not. And then I really wanted to catch a tusky because I saw him when we were in the Wessels, and they're in this area. One guy on our trip, Jed, got a really nice one. It's just been in my head ever since I was there last time. And I was able to hook on one, but I lost the battle in like 6 seconds. But it was one of the coolest 6 seconds I can remember in all fishing. Those are very cool fish. And we saw a couple of blue bastards, but I wasn't really targeting them. Had caught them before. Some big queenfish. I mean, there's a lot. That's what's so fun about it. You're just out there. Yeah. And, with 2 people in the boat, if the first, person's on the bow going for permit, the person in the back could just kind of, pull out the G stick or a 12 weight and just throw at anything they see cruising around. It's kind of a fun program.
No doubt.
It is, right? That's a great point. Because they're using, we should have said that earlier, but they're using trolling motors. So there's no pulling.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's that deeper water you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just sitting on the platform when I saw the tusky, like straddling it, like a little hillbilly, just enjoying the sun and the view, and saw this thing and just kind of flipped. It was about 30 feet away, and all of a sudden I'm on with this fish I really wanted. It was just kind of cool. And you're never out of the game. You're just having fun, looking at everything moving around and throwing at stuff.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, we also caught some mac tuna with land in sight, which was, perfect size tuna, right? They were, I don't know, 10 to 15 pounds maybe. And, not all of this stuff was seen on a daily basis, but throughout someone's I think Matthews, you caught the only cobia. Jed caught the only tusk fish, right? So it wasn't like, it's just don't want someone coming back and being like, I didn't see the mac tuna and the cobia and the today.
But I am known as a cobia master, so.
Did you catch any barramundi?
No, I think the only time I went was with you. And what did I catch?
Caught that
God, it's a funny.
crazy.
Just like the only thing I caught all day.
There's a group.
Yeah, but some special kind, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of couples.
I'm a master at the cobia and the unidentified special grouper.
What about did you, I didn't even ask you this either. Did you have a 10 weight in your hand or a 9 weight most of the trip?
I had a 10. It was just a heavier line, heavier flies. Sometimes we had some wind, I'd say more in the first 3 days and some clouds. And I just felt more comfortable. I think you could get away with either.
Yeah.
I actually never took my 9 on the boat. I rigged it up day 1, and like day 2, I still see it on the rack at the lodge, and it sat there until breakdown day.
Did they have anything that they wanted you to bring that maybe you wouldn't consider for another trip? Was essential to the trip rather.
Yeah, I mean the line talk is very interesting because the only place I've ever used intermediate long tip fly lines for permit is in Australia.
You don't use those in the lawn ever?
No. I don't think so, because I think you want more of a hinge.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
No, you don't use them there. You want it's like nymphing. You want as much control as possible. You want to leave your flies in a certain spot. But I'd say that was unique.
And essential. Like I really think you need it.
But again, reflections on a trip. For what we saw, I know it's not the norm, but I am a little bit perplexed as to why we didn't start using floating lines if they were eating the flies that quickly, because you have so much more control over what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I got a text from Courier before he left, because he was heading to the Wetzels, and his text was talking about bailing on their suggestion and just using floating line. And I told him about what we saw, but also said you might want to bring both, but also bring a 6-foot intermediate head for the middle. I mean, if you're going that far.
Yeah, if you're going that far, you better take it all.
Yeah, I agree. I got one shot at a giant trevally, and we had the 12 weight out the whole time. I wouldn't change that though. Like, I think the giant trevally that swim around there you're not going to come back with multiple. But if you catch one, it's probably going to be a beast.
Live up to the name.
Yeah. And we'd have it stripped out, which is also another fun kind of gong show part of the trip, right? Is you got guy in the back has multiple lines stripped out, ready to fire, and then the guy up front. And yeah, we had some good, and line management with the motor. I mean, that is a disaster.
The wet towel was a masterstroke.
Yeah.
For that whole back area. That was genius.
Were you with, it was you and I with the kangaroo?
The one that got hit? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was, it's like us, if you saw a deer, dead on the road, moving it. And so we saw a dead one, and the guide went to move it. I don't know why that was a really quick transition to the kangaroo.
Well, first he checked out a Joey. Remember that? He reached his hand in the pouch to see if there was a baby.
That's what I was going to bring up. That was wild, right?
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. And then when he won it, then he just casually dragged it off and kind of tossed it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was to check the pouch, I thought was a masterstroke.
Oh yeah, we do that with possums in Tennessee. Every single one you see, you pull over and see if it's got any in the pouch.
Really?
No, no, no.
So good.
That was brilliant.
Hey, what do you think his plan was if there was a Joey in there? Just
That's
like release it, or like was it coming home with us?
Yeah, is it coming in the truck?
Yeah, and I was in the back. I probably would have been next to it.
The other thing that's the fact that you can order, you can still order those old Land Cruisers there. Like that is,
Oh man.
Yeah,
they had one. I'm like, this can't be that. This can't be, 20 years old or whatever. And they're like, no, it's a year old. But
Yeah.
no,
Tho- those in the Hilux.
yeah, the Hilux, man.
Yeah.
We gotta figure that out. What is that? A 2.3 diesel, right?
Yeah, that 4-cylinder
Yeah,
little thing. Yeah. But bulletproof.
does it all. Well, what else am I missing, Matthews? Anything else that we covered? The birds, the dingoes, the
Covered
fish.
I would give a shout out to the lodge itself. I think they've done a nice job. I mean, they basically acquired a house in Weepa, and have set it up to host guests. And the gal that was cooking for us, Tegan, was phenomenal. And just the vibe between the guides and the crew at the lodge, you didn't feel like you were invading their space at all. You just felt like you're hanging out with friends. You actually wanted them to hang out. Like you wanted them at dinner every night.
Nice.
It was just great. And that goes a long way. It means more than accommodations, but the accommodations were great.
Yeah, I agree. I would say it's very nice to go that far and be in a foreign spot, but also be part of the family, so to speak, in a way, even though you're only part of the family for a week.
Sad to leave.
Yeah.
We'll go back.
Well,
That's cool.
we get Jimmy taking a trip over that way.
Man, I can't wait. When are we going?
I'll go back.
So no, when would be the next time Westbank's planning on going back?
The next time going back is next September 29th.
Okay, so that's like an end of summer, beginning of fall kind of time.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best time to be there.
It is one of the best times to be there. I think when
there's spring. Just to
right, yeah. So it'd be swapped with ours, yeah.
But they start those trips pretty early, right? And I'm forgetting this part, but it's all
April to October for the Cape.
Yep. And no rainy season, different weather patterns. That's the other crazy thing, right? I mean, it was hot.
It was, but it didn't, to be honest, it didn't feel as like oppressively humid, tropical hot. When the first day we walked back from the restaurant to the lodge, that was hot. Yeah. But I don't know, the water felt, I don't know, the breeze felt a little drier than like Mexico or places in the Caribbean.
Yeah, but hot for spring, right? I mean,
no doubt. I can't imagine what it's like.
But
January.
I think just driving over the landmass to the Great Barrier Reef side, though, isn't that like a completely different climate? Like they don't start those trips until later on. I don't know. It's fascinating. I mean, you're closer to Papua New Guinea than you are to any recognizable city in Australia. I mean, I think, yeah.
You're up there. And we covered a lot of ground. Like even then when we went north, we got pretty far north.
Yeah. And they do a mothership above where we are as well. So almost at the tip of Cape York, even closer. Yeah, it's hard to ask this question, but we should probably, as we start this new endeavor, we should ask this question every time because I do think it's fair. Like if you had to put a warning label on the trip, Brian, what would you say?
That's a hard one. A warning label.
Or just something that, you wish you had known. I don't think it changes whether you go or not,
I can't think. I mean, there was nothing that chafed me. It was all very comfortable. The guys are great. It's Australia. What would yours be? Might give me more time to think of one.
I would say overall, like, and I'm very critical of trips. I'd say it's a home run in all capacities. I was a little caught off guard by the amount of time it took on some of the runs. I was like, that's a, because in, not that it took away from any of the fishing time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in a sense it would if it was that much closer, which I guess is the idea, for the motherships. But that's a good. I mean, some of those runs we did, I asked the question like, how far did we just run? I was like, well, 30 miles, and that's a pretty good one. But I'm with you, man. Like I haven't. The fishing seemed to be it. I had a very similar feeling to the last time we were over there at the Wessels, which is another offering further west that they do. More remote, I would say, in the sense that you're not allowed in the area without tribal permission. So you are not going to see anyone. But the same feeling was like we didn't hit that, not like the fishing went off, but it was just such an amazing overall experience. But
yeah. All right, I got something now. And I remember this from the Wessels, but I've forgotten. But you're not getting out of the boat much at all. And sometimes you're like, well, can't I just go walk this while you're fishing him and just see what I see? And it's absolutely not. It's all because of the crocodiles. And I, having seen them, I'm glad they don't let you out of the boat.
Yeah.
But you see these beautiful beach flats, and you just want to like, oh, if I could just be on foot and walk this and look around, it'd be amazing. And I always forget that. And that's probably something when you see the pictures or you look the place up, you're in the boat most of the time for a reason.
Say less. The crocodiles, I'll be in the boat, no problem.
Yeah, and just when you thought like you would be safe, it'd be like, look at that one. And the fact that they bury themselves at times in the sand, and so
that's what's terrifying.
I'll stay in the boat.
See like a 10-foot floater, like no problem, right? You can find these little fish, but if they're buried in the sand, just waiting for you to, while you're trying to, scan the water for a target, I don't know. Yeah. Delete you.
Yeah, the lack of swimming, right? You definitely want to swim at times, but yeah.
Remember when Dave fell on the boat? And someone on that boat should have yelled croc, because that would have absolutely just would
have jumped back in. Well, it was also pretty. I feel very fortunate to get to travel with, some of the same people sometimes, and for certain trips, and there's always some sort of banter with historical precedents. And one thing that came up quite often was the bag. It's much like the raincoat in the sense, are you ever going to find the right one? And so there's a decent amount of banter going on. Yeah, so that leaves me, Jimmy, if you're going to travel, what bag are you taking?
Right, like that's one that I haven't found the answer to. I love waterproof bags, but hate the zippers. The organization on the inside is all different for all of them, and I guess that's depending on where you're going to and how much you're taking. But I don't have an answer for that one, Mike. I guess my answer is I've got to
Australia.
Say what?
What if you're gonna hop on this trip? What bag is your
my boat bag?
Your boat, or no? Just your what would you pack in?
What one bag would I take?
Yeah,
like my main bag or the one for the boat.
I love he's going deep.
I mean, there's so much to consider.
Well, how about we boil it down to roll top, waterproof, non-waterproof. And
I'm always
kicker is wheels or no wheels. Sorry.
Having the wheels is nice, transporting it to and from, but at the same time, less durable, extra weight. Like a big giant duffel bag, you can really load that thing to the gills. So if I've got a roll top waterproof bag, that's probably going to be my go-to.
And Matthews, you brought a the Patagonia 100 liter, right? Waterproof guide.
Yeah, I love it because I fit like you were amazed. I brought the intruder boots, which I never used, so that was a total waste of space. But like, and there was plenty of space left over, and it doesn't look like a big bag. But that if I can plug that Ortlieb, and I know you know the bag I'm talking about that has wheels, it's waterproof duffel, but the handle is just sewn in on the end, so there's not like going in and out, so you don't lose that space, and it's super light. I love that thing.
It's a deal breaker though, not having the extended handle for me.
I just NRS strap it, so I get a little dolly on top of that.
How'd you feel like walking through the long walks in the airport, LA, or like when you had to walk? I mean, I saw you getting a little, twitchy with the.
Yeah, but it was like I just felt like a stud. Like I got some big heavy. I'm doing something important. Look at that guy. He's going out there.
Well, I gotta say there was 3 of the new fish pond, which that's where I'm at currently. The Thunderhead duffel, not waterproof but water resistant, can fit any rod holder that's set for a 9-foot 4-piece rod. So like the Orvis carryall or like the jackalope, you can just put it right in the bottom. Anything wet that you have, you can zip in to the whole bottom and then close it, zip it in the middle, and then the top, separate packing. It's the kickstand. I mean, the kickstand has its own kickstand, always upright, good size, extended handle. It's a winner. I won't be surprised if. What's that?
I was impressed.
Yeah, you're thinking about it.
Nah, I don't know. There was already 3 of them on there. They all look the same. I just want to kick my kickstand out when I see it. It's a nice bag.
You had me at kickstand.
Yeah. Not to take it any further, but the kickstand on the bottom above the kickstand is a handle, a plastic handle that is not obtrusive because the kickstands are there, 2 kickstands. And then, so when you need to move the bag in this capacity long-wise, you have a molded handle on the bottom, which I thought was, I don't know. We'll see. We'll be discussing this again at some point.
How old is Mixter's bag or Jed's bag?
Isn't that the one he thinks is a knockoff?
He doesn't think it's real.
He doesn't think it's real. He thinks he got knockoff Patagonia rolling duffel, the 100-liter.
Yeah, the squeaky wheel.
That was getting really loud. Like I don't.
That was funny. Like it's like he's oblivious to it or he's so used to it, but like walking through the airport, you just see heads turning everywhere, looking at him. He has no idea.
I think he does know because that was way worse, and I think he's trying to tune it out a little bit at that point. Well, yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. This has been it's been awesome. It's exactly why I wanted to try and do this again and maybe make some pivots because I really do enjoy it. It's a way to get together and tell some fulfilling stories and talk about people's narratives and incorporate Westbank Anglers and some trip reviews, and it's a little different. So I can't thank you guys enough, and look forward to doing it again sometime.
Anytime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time, and I'll talk to both you guys soon.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Later. Thanks a lot.